Namaste and good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, and let's start our Gita class with some mantras. Om Parthaye Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayan Swayam Vyasen Gratitam Puran Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritvarshinim Bhagavati Mashtadashadhyayani Amutvam Anusandhame Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshine नमोस्तु ते व्यास विशाल बुद्धे फुल अरविंद आयत पत्र नेत्र येन तव्या भारत तैल पूर्णः प्रज्वलितो ज्ञान में प्रदीपा परपान पारी जाताये तोत्र वेत्र एक पाने ज्ञान मुद्राए कृष्णाय गीता अमृत दुहे नमः सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोगदा गोपाल नंदना पार्थो वत्सा सुधीर भोगता दुग्धम गीता अमृतम महत वसुदेव सुतम देवम कंस चानूरमर्दनम देवकी परमानंदम कृष्णम वंदे जगद्गुरुम भीष्म द्रोण तटा जयद्रथ चला गांधार नीलोत्पला शल्य ग्राहवती कृपेन वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थाम विकर्ण घोर मकरा दुर्योधन अवर्तने सो तीर ना खलु पांडवै रन्नदी के वर्तका केशवा पाराशरे वत्सरोजमलम गीता अर्थगंधोटकम नानाख्यानक केसरम हरि कथा संबोधन अबोधितम लोके सज्जन षटपदय रह पेपिये मानम मुदा भूयाद भारत पंकजम कलिमल प्रध्वंसी न श्रेयसे मूकम करोति वाचालम पंगुम लंघ्यते गिरिम यत् कृपातमहं वंदे परमानंद माधवम यम ब्रह्म वरुण इंद्र रुद्र मरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यस्तवे वेदै सांगपद क्रमोपनिषदे गायन्ति यम सामगा ध्यानवस्थित तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यम योगिनो यस्यन्तं न विदुसुर असुर गण देवाय तस्मै नमः. We are on chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga. And last week we ended the class with verse number 32. And these are the verses where Lord Krishna is in detail, somewhat detail, because Arjun wanted a complete detail and Lord Krishna said, there's no end to my Vibhutis. So he's giving a few examples to us. So let's start the class with verse number 33. Akshara nam akara asmi dvandha samasikasya cha aham ev akshaya kala dhata aham vishvato mukha. Akshara nam, among all the letters, akshara. Akara, the letter A, so like a, the sound a. Asmi, I am. Dvandaha, the dual. Smasikasya hai, among all the compounds. Cha means and. Aham, I, ev, verily. Akshaya kala. Akshaya means everlasting or endless. Akshaya. Kal means time. Dhata, the dispenser among the creators. Dhata. Aham, I, Vishvato Mukham, all faced or having faces in all directions. Vishvato Mukham. Among letters, I am the letter A. Among all compounds and the dual, like a coordinates, I am a Dvanda, the dual. And I am the everlasting time. I am the all-faced dispenser. That means dispenser of the fruits of actions, having faces in all directions. So let's start with the first one. Of the alphabets, I am the letter A. In Sanskrit language, all letters are formed by combining a half letter A. So just like a Ka plus A, then it becomes a Ka. That's why yoga also, at the end, yoga, then A, so yoga. But people started calling it a yoga. No, yoga. Okay, that's how the Sanskrit language is. But then we see in English also, letter A has the first place the alphabets. In fact, all the languages we see that. So this is the implication over here. When we put that a sound in Sanskrit, pronunciation of every letter or a sound of every letter adds a sweetness to it. So I don't know how much Sanskrit you know, but if you hear somebody speaking in Sanskrit, it's almost like a poetry because of that a sound. So smooth run of a sound in every letter. It's almost like a melody of the words or a lingering echo among the sentences. So that's why Lord Krishna says, hey, of all the alphabets, I am the letter A. Of all the compound words, I am the pair, the dual. In Sanskrit, again, there's a process of making compound words. Two or more words give up their case endings when we compound them. It's called a samas. And there are 6 kinds of samas in Sanskrit language. Dvand, bahu brihi, karamdharye, tatpurush, dvigu, avyayi bhav. So among all these techniques of combining the words, Dvand is the best because both words remain prominent. That's why Lord Krishna says, in this technique, I am the Dvand. It's like a Ram Lakshman. You see that both the names in that Dvand, Rama Lakshman. I am the infinite time. That's the third example he gives in this verse. Earlier also, he mentioned that of reckoners, I am the time. The finite time was mentioned also. But here, as a contrast, the infinite and the absolute time is indicated. So both these two statements put together mean that the self is the substratum for both the absolute concept of pure time as well as the finite experiences of each moment. So he says, I am in both of them. I am eminent in each individual unit of time, and I am the transcendent to serve as a substratum for the total time also. Okay? And then he says, I am the sustainer of all the mental impressions is also God. When we see that particular trait in a given individual, which determines how that person will react to the world outside, that is also God, the sustainer. And then the last thing he mentions, facing all quarters at all times. He's mentioning over here Brahma. When we see the Brahma's form, facing all directions, Vishvato Mukham, in all the perceptions, whether physical, mental, intellectual, the grace of consciousness, which is the self. So creation is a magnificent act and awesome to behold, and humankind's most sophisticated and advanced inventions, they pale in comparison to God. Because we see all the creations done by the human beings, but who give that energy? So Lord Krishna singles out the firstborn Brahma over there. He says, Brahma, the Vishvato Mukham. I am that. Brahma is the one who made the entire universe. So among all the creators, the creative ability of Brahma best reflects the glory of God. So he says, I am that. Next verse 34, more examples. Mrityu sarvhara cha aham uddhav cha vishtan kirti shri vak cha nari nam samriti medha dhriti kshama. Mrityu, death. Sarvhara, all devouring. Cha means and, aham, I. Uddhav, the prosperity. Cha means and. Bhavishyatam, those things that are yet to be. Okay, like a bhavishyatam, yet to be prosperous. That's what it means over here. Kirti, fame. Shri means prosperity. Vak means speech. Cha means and, Nari Nam, of the feminine qualities. Samriti, the memory. Medha, intelligence. Dhriti, firmness or courage. Kshama, forgiveness. I am devouring death. And I am the origin of those things that are yet to be prosperous. Among the feminine qualities, I am fame, prosperity, speech, memory, intelligence, firmness, and forgiveness. So let's look at I am the all-consuming death. Death is called a leveler also. After death, the wise and the fool, the good and the bad, the strong and the weak, ruler as well as the ruled, all come to the dust, leveled into the uniformity. Death does not have any distinction within these. That's why the popular phrase, dead end, or as sure as death. Okay. Then he says, I'm the source of all that is to be. So God is not just a mere destroyer of everything. He is certainly the source of all new creations that are to come in the future also. So past also, present also, future also. So the complete vision of life he is giving it us over here. Then he says, see this word udbhav, that literal meaning means prosperity. But philosophical meaning of that word is the source of all. Source of all, udbhav. Then now let's look at fame, fortune, speech. And speech means a perfect speech. Memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. This is I am. And he says these are the feminine qualities. The Sanskrit terms, they convey the gender to the words also. So these particular words or the qualities are feminine. That doesn't mean they're only in the females, but the gender is given to these terms also. So these are the virtues that make a person glorious, not just only women, but men also, irrespective of the gender. First three are outside qualities. Fame, fortune, speech. Next four, they manifest inside. Memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. So whoever be the person expressing these qualities, we can perceive a clearer vision of life's glory or the divinity in that person when we see these qualities. In Bhagavad Puran, we even learned that Prajapati Daksha had 24 daughters. 5 of these were considered the best of women. And the names were like this: Samriti, Veda, Dhriti, Kshama. Okay. And Vak was the daughter of Bhrigu. Okay. So these are like a presiding deities of these 7 qualities mentioned in this verse. Now let's look at the next verse, verse number 35. Lord Krishna again gives 4 more indications to make his self-introduction clear to us. Brihat Sam Tatha Samnam Gayatri Chand Sam Aham Masa Nam Margashirsha Aham Ritunam Kusumakra. Brihat Sam. Tatha means also. Sam Nam, among the Sam hymns. That's a Sam Ved. Gayatri, Chand Sam. So among the poetic meters, Chand, Aham I. Masa Nam, among the months, Marg Shirsha. Marg Shirsh is part of December and January. Marg Shirsh. Aham I. Ritu Nam, among the seasons, Ku Sumakraha, the flowery season. That is a spring. He says among hymns also, I am the Brihat Saman. Among meters, Gayatri, I am. Among months, I am Marg Shirsh. Among seasons, I am the flowery spring. He mentioned the Samved before also. He said, among all the Vedas, I am Samved. And the songs of the Samved are called Samans. Rich, beautiful, devotional songs in the Samved. It is not an easy task to sing these Samans. The people spend years of practice at the feet of their master to learn how to sing these Samans. They are difficult, they are complicated. That is the kind of a meter they have. And they are called Brihati. Brihati. And the Samans composed in the Brihati meter are called Brihat Sam. Typically, they are sung at midnight. Total quietness. Your mind is fully absorbed, fully concentrated, and you sing those and connect with God. Brihat Sam. Of all the meters, I am Gayatri. There are many, many meters. There is a Devi Gayatri, there's a Rudra Gayatri, there's a Brahm Gayatri, Brahmans Gayatri. There's so many Gayatris also, but then there's so many meters also. And the most divine and extremely powerful Gayatri. It has 8 syllables in 3 forms, like 3 lines. So 8 syllables in each line. So the meter is held in great esteem. And there is a sense of divinity in the Gayatri mantra. And we all know that the most famous one, Gayatri mantra, which we all recite, Tat Savitra Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. So chanted morning, evening, all over the world. So most sung Gayatri. There is a Upanishad called Chandogya Upanishad. There is a glorification of Gayatri. In that passage, it says, this Supreme who is indicated in the Gayatri is all-pervading, omniscient, and eternal. He who understands Gayatri in this way attains a full and unending prosperity. So it's a glorification of Gayatri. In the Brihad Aryanak Upanishad also, substantial portion explaining this Gayatri. Manu also has praised Gayatri. The most exalted creator milked out this Gayatri from 3 Vedas. He who relentlessly repeats it daily for 3 years attains the Supreme Brahma. And that person can move free like air and become subtler like Akash. So these are the sayings from that Brihad Aryanak Upanishad. Of the months, I am the Margashirsha. Told you earlier that this corresponds to the parts of the English calendar, months of November. Yeah, November and December. Okay, half November, half December. I'm sure you're familiar with the Indian calendar. Vaishak, Jesht, Ashad, Shravan, Bhadra, Ashwin, Kartik, Margashirsha, Posh, Magh, Fagun, Chaitra. These are the from Hindu calendar. In Margshirsh time in India, so neither too hot, not too cold. Because we all know that in certain parts of India, during winter months, it can be very cold, and certain parts very hot during summer. So this is the time. No fatigue. So Lord Krishna says, I am that month among all the months. Of the seasons, I am the Rituraj. This flowery season, the spring is called a Rituraj. It's also called a Basant. What do you see? Valleys full of flowers. Meadows look like carpet of grass. In the pools, we see lotuses and the lilies. The beautiful time of the year. Now we'll see that in the next verse, because so far he has been mentioning the prominent, the most beautiful, the most glorious. So he says that I can be recognized among the majestic and the divine, among the beautiful and the charming, but also among the lowest of the low also I can be. Verse number 36. Dhyutam chalyatam asmi teja tejasvi nam aham jaya asmi vyavasaya asmi satvam satvatam aham. Dhyutam, the gambling. Chalyatam, of the fraudulent, the cheaters. Asmi, I am. Tejaha, splendor, the radiant. Tejasvi nam, of the splendid. Aham, I. Jaya, victory. Asmi, I am. Vyavasaya, determination, the firm resolve. Vyavasaya. Asmi, I am. Sattvam, the goodness. Sattvatam, of the good, the virtuous. Aham, I. I am the gambling of the cheat. I am the splendor of the splendid. I am victory. I am determination of those who are determined. I am the goodness of the good. So dhyutam chalyatam asmi. So Lord Krishna is mentioning not only the virtue, but also the vice as his opulence. So of all the deceptive games, I am the dice play. He is giving this example because it is the most striking for Pandavas. For Arjun's entire life had been a series of tragedies which he had to suffer because of his elder brother's irresistible weakness to play the dice. No other example would have been delivered the goods to Arjuna as efficiently as this one. So God grants his power to the personality. And along with it, he gives the freedom of choice. If we choose to forget him, he gives us the power to forget. This is just as electric power can be used both to heat and cool a house. The choice of the user. So the power given is by God, and then it's up to us how we're going to use it. So he's not glorifying gambling over here. Okay? He's just glorifying the power behind everybody is God. A gambler possesses intellect and ability that is supplied by God. But if he decides to misuse these God-given gifts, then God is not responsible for the sinful deeds. The choice is made us. So he's not glorifying gambling. He's just saying that power is I am giving. Splendor in the splendid I am. This is the second example. Because of this radiance, some object shines. So the object is not radiant, it's the radiance which is shining through the object. He says, that's what I am. So the truth is light. And that light is without its properties. Okay? I am victory, I am effort, I am the goodness in the good. So as explained earlier, so these qualities, the experience lived in the presence of these qualities gives us the occasion to live the self. These qualities, they connote a certain level of mental condition created by the very special type of its thought vibrations. So many items he has mentioned in all these verses so that we can meditate upon him. That is the whole purpose. We don't have to remember all of them. We can choose just one and meditate upon that. Just one. Next verse, he gives us more examples. Vrishni naam Vasudeva asmi, Pandava naam Dhananjaya, Muni naam api aham Vyasa, Kavi naam Ushan Kavi. Vrishni naam, among the descendants, Vrishnis. Vasudeva, asmi I am. Pandava naam, among the Pandavas, Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is the name for Arjuna. Muni naam, among the Munis, Api means also aham I, Vyasa. Kavi naam, among the poets, Ushna. Kavi, the seer, Ushna. That's the name of a Kavi. Among the Vrishnis, I am the Vasudeva. Among the Pandavas, I am Dhananjaya. Also among the Munis, I am Vyasa. And among the poets, I am Ushna, the great seer. So let's look at the Vrishni. Who are the Vrishnis? Among the Yadavas, the ancestor Yadu had a son, Vrishni. All the descendants of Vrishni together constitute the tribe called the Vrishnis. And in this tribe was born Vasudeva as the great grandson of Vrishni. And Vasudeva married Devaki. And Devaki was a sister of the Mathura's tyrant Kansa. And from Devaki and Vasudeva was born Krishna. So son of Vasudeva, the Lord is called Vasudeva. So Krishna himself. Of the Pandavas, I am Dhananjaya. The term Dhananjaya has a direct meaning as the winner of wealth. When these Pandavas, they had the Indraprastha, they needed the wealth. Arjuna was gone for some time. He conquered many places, brought a lot of wealth from that trip of his. And that's why he was named Dhananjaya. So what he's saying that I am Arjuna among the Pandavas. Of all the saints, I am Vyasa. Vyasa. We know that the author of Mahabharata is Vyasa. Is he talking about himself? Vyasa is a pen name which came to symbolize the new style of the literature. Vyasa. The real name of Vyasa, who wrote Mahabharata and this Bhagavad Gita, which is part of Mahabharata, is a Krishna Dvapayan. So and a name for many poets. So Vyas, the literal meaning of Vyas is one who elaborates every point of discussion. Of all the Munis, I am Vyas. So this should suggest that all the men of reflection, Lord Krishna is saying, I am he who is behind the work that stands today under the title Vyasa. Of the seers, I am Ushna. Nowhere we find any mention of the seer available in the popular books of our Vedic literature. That shows that Ushna Kavi, if Lord Krishna mentioned Ushnakavi. He must be so prominent. But his work was destroyed. We all know that libraries and libraries were burned. So that's why we don't find any work done by Ushnakavi. That's sad. Okay, somebody's name Lord Krishna mentioned, but we don't have those writings. Let's look at verse number 38. Dandaha damyatam niti asmi jigishtam maunam cha evasmi guhanam jnanam jnanvatam aham. Dand. Dand means like a punishment. It's like a scepter. Damyatam means of punishment, like a punishers. Asmi, I am. Niti, statesmanship. It's like a proper conduct, niti. Asmi, I am. Jigishatam, among those who seek victory. Maunam, silence. Cha means and. Ev also. Asmi, I am. Guhanam, among secrets. Jnanam, the knowledge, wisdom. Jnana vatam, among the knowers or among the wise. Aham, I. Among punishers, I am the scepter. Among those who seek victory, I am statesmanship. And also among secrets, I am silence. I am the knowledge among the knowers. Okay, the first example he says about the punishment. Punishment, when meted out in a timely and a just manner, is a very important performing a sinful behavior. In people or even training the right conduct in children also. That's why they say nip at the bud. Don't let it blossom into a wild flower. Punishment. So he says that punishment I am. The lawgiver must see that he governs by enforcing the laws. But in fact, who is that which really gives the power to the king or the president to punish the misbehaving individuals? The leaders or the kings, they wield the scepter, which is the symbol of his power to punish. Whether it's a president in democratic institution, it could be a policeman who has the power to arrest, and that is attached to his uniform. So that's why he says, of all those who punish, I am the scepter. Of conquerors, I am the statecraft. Mere physical conquest is no victory at all. No nation, community, society, or individuals can be considered as having conquered merely because of the force that has smothered their enemy. A conquest, a real conquest of a community can be complete only when the conqueror has used the intelligence and applied that administrative policies after conquering. So of conquerors, I am the statesmanship. There has to be a thought pattern, proper thought pattern. Because desire for victory is universal, but those with the strength of character are not willing to sacrifice morals or ethics to achieve it. The victory which is won by the path of righteousness signifies the power of God. That's what he's mentioning over here. The niti. Our scriptures, they talk about several kinds of nitis, not just a Rajniti. There are Many, many kinds of niti. Danda niti, Kuta niti, Dana niti. Niti is a very important topic. And this is what he's mentioning over here. Of things secret, I am the silencer. Secrecy is mentioned and nourished by silence. There is a saying, a secret known to one person is a secret, right? A secret known to two people is no longer a secret. And a secret known to three people is a news shouted out to the rest of the world. Okay? So that's why he says, of things a secret, I am silence. So the very essence of secret lies in silence. And knowledge of the self is described in the scriptures is the secret of the secrets, because it's not generally known. We cannot talk about it, but to experience it. So the great secret is also experienced. Divine experience is maintained and enjoyed and sustained and nourished, as well as fed and grown only upon the deep inner silence. Then next he says, the knowledge of the knowers I am. The wisdom of the wise is not the wise themselves. It is not anything different from them. The self is not the body. Yet we cannot say that the body is anything different from the self, which is all pervading. The knowledge in the knower or the wisdom in the wise is the expression of a glory divine through intelligence. True wisdom comes to a person with maturing of spiritual knowledge through self or God realization. Such wisdom, what does it do for us? Why we are after the wisdom? Wisdom purifies us. Wisdom fulfills us. Wisdom satisfies us. It elevates to cope with with all kinds of disturbances in life. And determination to preserve till the end is reached. That's why he says, I am that knowledge of the knowers I am. That is the wisdom he's talking about. Now, to sum up all that he said before, verse number 39. Yat cha abhi sarv bhutanam bijam tat aham arjuna na tat asti vina yat syat maya bhutam characharam. Yat means which. Cha means and, api means also. Sarva bhutanam, among all beings. Bijam seed, that means that. Aham I, Arjuna. Na tat, not that. Astu, asti means is. Vina, without. Yat means which. Sayat, may be. Maya by me, bhutam beings. Characharam. So it's a char and achar. Char means moving and achar means unmoving. And whatsoever is the seed of all beings, that also I am. O Arjuna, there is no being, whether moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. So that's why I said he's just summing it up for us. God is both the efficient cause of all creation and also the material cause. What is the efficient cause? Efficient cause means that he is the creator who performs the work involved in manifesting the world. And material cause means that he is the material from which creation happens. So he is both. He is stressing that he is the origin of everything. One without his potency, nothing can exist. Living beings are born in 4 ways, we know that. And in all 4 ways, he is the material cause and the efficient cause. We have seen that earlier, which 4 ways the beings are born. They are called Andaj, that's one way, born from the eggs. We know that the birds, snakes, lizards, they're called Andaj. So God is the efficient as well as the material cause for those. The second way beings are born are called Jairaj, born from the womb, cows, dogs, cats, human beings. Svedaj, born from the sweat, like lice and the ticks, etc. Then the fourth kind is Udbhej, sprouting from the earth, trees, creepers, grass, corn, etc. So he says, I am the material as well as the efficient cause of all of them. There are other life forms also, which our physical eyes cannot see, such as ghosts, evil spirits, names. God is the origin of those also. There's nothing can exist or can be created without God. That's why he said, I am that which is the seed of all. Yat chapi sarvabhutanam bijam tat aham Arjuna. I am the seed of all. So seed or the God is the source of all creation. Analogy of the seed and the tree we have seen many, many times. As meditators, we can contemplate upon that. Okay? The seed condition of the universe is equivalent to the dormant condition of the tree before its manifestation. Under favorable conditions, the primary shoot and the root system will emerge out. One is ascending towards the sky and the other burrowing down into the soil. The entire universe of the names and the forms in the condition of dormancy, remaining in the seed form. That's why he says, I am the seed of all. Everything is there. Remain in the seed condition. And we are familiar with that. Every night when we sleep, we are in a seed form. When we get up, then we start doing the things. So when we are sleeping, we are in a seed condition. We experience that every day. And death is just like that. Or even more than death, the pralaya is like that too. We all go back into the seed form. And when the right time comes, we manifest again. And the womb of all things and beings is called a Hiranyagarbha. We know that also. That is nothing but a seed. Seed. So Lord is here indicating and identifying himself with the total causal bodies of the world as Ishwar. As Ishwar. He declares that the self is the one great seed from which the tree of samsara has merged out and will in future merge out for an infinite number of times. It's not just one time, it's infinite times. So the statement which he made that I am the seed of the universe, we got to contemplate upon that. And that this seed does not die when the samsara comes out. It's an eternal seed. Not only that the Lord is the seed of the universe, but even after its germination and growth, the tree is also sustained by itself. Just as water is the cause for starting the germination in the seed, and again, water alone can nourish and sustain the tree even after the tree has expanded itself into the greater heights, greater dimensions. The same thing happens with God also. Okay, very powerful statements the Lord Krishna is making in these verses over here. Let's look at one more and then we'll stop today. Na antaha asti mam divyanam vibhutinam param tap eshatu udeshataha proktaha vibhuta vistaraha meya. Na means not, antaha and. This is verse number 40. Asti is, mam means mine, divyanam of divine. Vibhutinam, glories. Param tap, that is for Arjuna. Esh, this tu means indeed udeshata, brief statement. Proktaha has been stated. Vibhuti of glory. Vistaraha, the particulars or the breadth of the topic. Vistara, maya by me. There is no end to my divine glories. This is what Lord Krishna is saying. There is no end. O Paramtap. But this is but a brief statement by me of the particulars of my divine glories. So that means I'm just giving you a few examples because you asked about it. There's no end to it. So Lord Krishna is concluding this topic of his opulences. Because Arjuna wanted to know the glories. And so this is in response to his request. By now, all of us, we do meditate. And if we continue to meditate, we will discover, we will experience all this. But to meditate we must. It's not just only a theory, but practice must be done too. And we'll see that there is no end to the ways of divine, the divinity. Wherever we see, there's a God. It's not only in these particulars, but in between the particulars too. It's not between the sun and the moon, but at night when we see the moon and the stars, it's in between the moons and the stars too. It's not only when you come to the ashram or go to the temple or you are sitting at the feet of your guru, but otherwise also. Feel the presence of God all the time. This is what he's trying to tell us. This unseen divinity can become seen. All we have to have is faith and do the sadhana. So he's saying that I'm choosing a few effective examples to educate the sadhaks. So we need to meditate on that. So there are a couple of more verses left, so we'll finish it up next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadai Purnameva Visheshyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much.